Okay, in this video we're going to look at price control. So this is just going to be a quick intro and we'll go into each of these in a little bit greater detail, but I just want to put the two different ways that the government can regulate prices side by side so that you guys can see very easily which one is the price floor and which one is the price ceiling. So the two ways that the government can regulate prices is by either setting a minimum price that you are allowed to charge for your item enforced by the government, or selling a maximum price that you are allowed to charge for your item enforced by the government. Okay, so these aren't arbitrarily when you want to raise prices or when there's a shock to the economy. This is when the government gets involved and says, instead of letting market forces put us at equilibrium right here in the middle where the market's clear, there's some reason that we, and it usually, well, sometimes it's well intended, sometimes it's not necessarily well intended, but the idea is that there's something going on in the market that we need to increase the price or decrease the price. Okay, and these are obviously um, backed by very normative ideas. Okay, so let's look at what happens. All right, so let's start off with when the government puts in a price floor. Okay, I'm going to set up both of these first. So that's a price floor, and this is going to be a price ceiling. So a price floor is the minimum amount that the item is allowed to be sold for, where the price ceiling is the maximum amount that the item is legally allowed to be sold for. Now, the reason that I'm putting these side by side and the reason that I'm writing it in first is to kind of get your brain thinking, because most people are going to say that a price ceiling is going to be over here above the equilibrium wage and a price floor is going to be over here below the equilibrium wage, and that is not correct. Let's look at what happens when we put an effective price floor on a market. That means that we are going to use this solid line to denote that this is in fact a price floor, and it is above the equilibrium market, and a price ceiling is below the equilibrium market price. So this is a price ceiling. Okay, so now imagine the market always wants to clear. Okay, so left to its own devices, the market is going to try and reach equilibrium. So that means that here the price is going to try and go up. Okay, the market is going to try and increase the price. However, the price ceiling is going to prevent it from reaching the equilibrium price. Same thing is true with a price floor. Here, the price is artificially high and the economy wants to bring the price down. However, the price floor is preventing it from getting back to equilibrium. So what are the effects of a price floor or a price ceiling? And again, we'll go in this in greater detail in the next video. But if we have a price floor, if we look at where this new artificially high price is, so we're not going to put this in equilibrium, so there's not going to be any star, but this is going to be the price for the price floor. Okay, it's higher than the equilibrium price. That means that if we follow that price to where it intersects with the demand curve, we'll see that this is the quantity demanded at the new price floor, and this is the quantity supplied at the new price floor. So we can already see that if the market is not in equilibrium, there's going to be always either a shortage or a surplus. Here, quantity demanded is significantly quantity demanded is significantly less than quantity supplied. So we know that if the demand for an item is less than what's going to be supplied, it's going to create a large surplus in the market. Okay. Over here, if we look at where price ceiling intersects with the supply curve, that's obviously going to be our quantity supplied. And where it intersects with the demand curve, this is going to be our quantity demanded. And now we can see that the demand is going to be much larger than the quantity supplied. So we are going to have a shortage over here. Okay? In the next video, we'll go over each of these in detail.